What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you a brief overview on macronutrients. Okay, if you've ever seen that acronym IIFYM, that stands for If It Fits Your Macros. I will explain how that's kind of used in the fitness industry and why it's kind of important. But we got to talk about first what macronutrients are. Okay, macronutrients are a certain group of nutrients that you have to consume in large quantities throughout the day to nourish the body. By definition, macro is anything, large in scale or scope. Okay, and so there are three main macronutrients that we take in daily with our diets: carbs, proteins, and fats. Carbs are, when they're taken into the body and broken down, they produce glucose, which we use for energy. And for someone like myself that is plant-based, sources of carbs can be rice, potatoes, fruit. Okay, protein, as we take it in, is important for muscle growth, muscle repair, tissue repair, enzyme function and production. And for me, sources of protein are obviously tofu, vegan protein powders and plant-based protein powders, nuts, tempeh, and some other vegetables. And then fats are also very important for cell, nerve, and hormone production. They also help in the aid of the absorption of certain vitamins. I believe A, D, E, and K is what fats help absorb into the body. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to show you how you can set up your macronutrient profile depending on what you're trying to achieve with your fitness goals. As I told you last week, I'm getting back into, I don't want to say it's bodybuilding, but lifting weights, and I'm also going to be working on my overall physique. So with that, you will want to set up a certain amount of calories that you're taking in per day, and then within that calorie total, a way to break down by percentage how much protein, how much carbs, how many carbs, and how many fats you're taking in. So this is a kind of a baseline approach on how to do it. It's not the only way to do it, but I'm giving this to you because it has worked for me. I've done it. I'm going to show you some pictures here in a little bit on my last journey while I was using this format. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take your current weight. For me, I'm just going to plug in here a number 170. I fluctuate between like 165 and 170 right now. The next thing you're going to do is evaluate what your activity level is. So 12, and this is from a scale of 12 to 15. 12 we put here as a person that's lazy as hell, okay, not really doing anything. Maybe it's a person that works a desk job, sits down all day, gets no activity or hardly any activity whatsoever. Maybe they go, for a quick 5-minute walk and think they've worked out. Okay, so that's a 12. 15, we put Michael Phelps, right? Elite athlete, guy that probably works out 6 days a week, maybe 7 days a week, gets a ton of activity and, is doing long workouts. So for the purpose of this example, I just took 14. Since I've been running, I'm pretty active, okay? So I'm gonna use a multiplier of 14. All you're simply gonna do is take your weight times the activity level. 170 times 14 produces a total number of 2,380 calories. That's my total caloric intake. That's going to be necessary for me on a daily basis based upon my weight and activity level. Now, with that 2380, we're going to use and implement what's known as a macronutrient split or percentage breakdown. in the bodybuilding community for years, a 40-40-20 split has been recognized as the split for kind of optimal body composition. And what that means is 40% of my total calories are going to come from protein, 40% are going to come from carbs, 20% come from fat. So what you simply do is take 40% of 2,380 calories, and that produces 952 calories. That's supposed to be a check mark. Pen's running out of ink. 40 again for carbs, 952 calories. 20% fat, 476 calories. Okay, now to further explain how you get to the total amount of grams you need per day, you have to understand that 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. Similarly, 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. So what you do is you take 952 calories divided by 4, which will get you to 238 grams per day that I'm supposed to take in on protein. It's the same calculation for carbs. Since 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories, 952 divided by 4 gives me 238. And for fat, the division is by 9. 476 divided by 9 equals 53. So 2,380 calories, my total caloric intake for the day. I need to take in 238 grams of protein, 238 grams of carbs, 53 grams of fat. That's a starting point, okay? Depending on what I'm trying to do with my body, I'm going to manipulate those numbers. I may even manipulate the calories. But for now, since I'm trying to build strength and muscle, I'm going to stick with that for now. And then as I'm going along, if I feel like I need more protein or I need more carbs, I may alter this percentage slightly, right? Maybe I take in more protein, a little more carbs. So you have to kind of play around with it, but you need a place to start. And that's all this simply is. Again, I want to make sure you understand this isn't the only way to do it, but I know this way works for me, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Plenty of other ways you can take this approach. There's, go online, you can find a ton. Okay, so that is a pretty simple way to set up your macronutrient breakdown for whatever fitness goal you are trying to achieve. Remember, we opened it with this, Iifym, if it fits your macros. The concept behind that is when you set up your meal plans, if it fits within this percentage breakdown and gram breakdown and total caloric breakdown, you can eat it. That's the concept behind it, okay? If it fits your macros, you can eat it. So, in order to be successful at something like this, the most important thing you have to be and focus on is consistency. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. This takes months, right? But consistency is the name of the game with any meal planning, workout, just across the board. Think consistency. So, just by way of example, Quaker oats. Everybody's familiar with Quaker oats. You got to get familiar with reading labels. Okay, so if you look here, a half a cup is 40 grams, provides 150 calories, protein, 5 grams, 27 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of fat. So what you're going to do is when you're building your meal plan, you can set up a spreadsheet for yourself. You can even use MyFitnessPal. That's an app a lot of people use. It makes it very simple. All you're simply going to do is put in your total caloric intake and start plugging in the foods you want to eat. And as you're plugging them in, right, you know what your calories are. So now from 2380, if I'm using 1/2 cup of this, it's going to go down by 150 calories. right? I'm gonna start subtracting away from my total protein on a daily basis by 5 grams. Total carbs are gonna go down by 27 grams, and fat's gonna go down by 3 grams. And as you start implementing and putting in the foods you're gonna be eating, you're gonna try to get to these numbers as closely as possible. I can tell you, it's really hard to nail it like right on the money. As long as you're getting close, that's a good place to be. The other thing you're gonna wanna do, invest in some sort of a scale, okay? A digital scale. That way it makes it easy, there's no guesswork, right? So that's set up in grams. If I'm trying to get 40 grams, okay, we're not quite there, that's 37 grams. And when you're doing this, you're gonna want every single gram. But the other thing it does, visually, you'll get to know what 40 grams of oatmeal looks like, right? And it's a good way for you to kind of understand reading labels and then what that really looks like on your plate. The other thing, meal prep bags. I used to use a bag from a company named Fitmark. It was awesome. You don't have to use like a store-bought bag. Get something that you can, if you're doing this, that you can prep your meals in and put into maybe little Tupperware containers and then put it in the bag for the day. And the reason why the bag is important is, the way I used to look at it is, anything that's in that bag is safe for me to eat during the day. But once I've consumed everything in the bag, I've got no more calories to intake, right? So you kind of have to program out how you're going to eat your calories through the day. In another episode, maybe in a couple of weeks, I will show you my exact meal plan on a daily basis. But obviously, you're gonna wanna start with, breakfast, maybe a mid-morning snack, lunch, mid-afternoon snack, dinner, and then maybe a pre-workout, post-workout meal. Okay, so, but I think if you're meal prepping, putting them into containers and then carrying it in a bag if you're traveling or even if you're at home, right? So it's easy. Grab what's already prepared, you can eat it. Once you've consumed it all, you're done, right? You're done. Okay, now, let me just show you. This is a spreadsheet that I kept showing my progress from, I don't know why I was doing that goofy pose there in the beginning, but you can see the other great thing to do when you're doing any kind of physique composition or bodybuilding, or if you're trying to lose fat, take pictures, because you can look back on this and you can really track your progress, right? Also, weigh in every week. I was weighing in here for my coach every Sunday at the same time after I've gone to the bathroom. That's pretty funny. I went to Hawaii there, so I got kind of tan. But you can see the progression of how my physique is changing over time. You see the abs starting to show, more definition, more definition. And as we're getting closer to, I actually got a little too lean on competition day. But you can see, right? It's really good to take pictures and weigh yourself. Pictures don't lie. The scale never lies, okay? Now, for me, I would suggest starting something like this now. We're heading into September, the fourth quarter. Here's the reason why. A lot of people say, you know what, I'm gonna wait till the start of the year. How many people start their fitness journey on January 1? Almost everybody does, right? And what they do is through the holidays, they say, you know what, I'm not gonna worry about, what I'm eating. What ends up happening is you really put yourself in a tough position because you consume a lot of calories, you're just eating whatever the hell you want to eat, And then when January 1 comes around, makes it really hard to get started. And that's why most people start January 1. I'd say check in with them by like February, March. They're probably already fallen off the plan. So start ahead of the holidays. That way when you're going in, I'm not saying you have to be super restrictive, but if your goal is to lose weight, put on muscle, start early. That way you're heading through the holidays, you've got a plan already in place, and then when January 1 comes around, you're already, almost 4 months into your deal. And to me, that's going to set you up for better success than trying to start on January 1. All right, so again, not a one-size-fits-all plan here, but this is a general and I think a good starting place for anybody that is trying to build muscle, improve their physique. Now, if you're, for instance, trying to lose weight on something like this, you're going to have to find the total caloric intake that's going to be definitely below this number in order for you to start losing fat. Okay, I'll go into that in another upcoming video because that's going to be an important piece in my journey as well. I'm going to work out, gain some strength, put on some muscle, and then I'm going to start dieting down to kind of, lose fat and get more of a defined cut physique. But that's going to take another video. All right, hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, or you can get to me on Instagram. It's _plant.ed. I'm happy to answer any questions any of you have because I know sometimes this stuff can be intimidating. It can be a little overwhelming, but really the approach is pretty simple. If you want to gain muscle, you got to eat. You got to put the right foods into your body in the right quantities. If you want to lose fat, you got to put yourself into a caloric deficit, right? Burning more calories than what you're taking in on a daily basis. It's not rocket science. But I know sometimes it does require a little bit of guidance and some help, and I'm absolutely available and willing to help you if you need it. So please continue to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and the like button. And be well, be kind to yourself and others, and most importantly, believe in yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. Definitely give this a try. I think you'll see some great results. I'm out.